Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Um, this is day 2. We are looking at cursive and script welding, to weld cursive and script together and then converting them to a rhinestone. Okay. Now, yesterday we looked into the fundamentals of the Silhouette Studio, where we learned some 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 things like the tools on them on the right side and then on the left side. Now, like I told you yesterday, the most important tools for editing in Silhouettes is transformation panel, which you can see on your right side. Also, you can also see it at the top of your software. You can see it at the top of your software. Now, before I move, like we said, looking into cursive and scripts. Now, let's type a simple word. Let's say a girl, capital letter GIL, a girl. Now, sizing. Before I continue, the sizing of every word that you want to work on is also important in your rhinestone production. Now, you can see the girl I just typed in now. You notice on the right side, the bottom of the girl, you will see the size, the length, which is 6.139 inches. Then the breadth is 4.410 inches. Now, this is not the main size because you've not broken it yet. It's still this. By the time you break it, the size is going to reduce. Now, depending on the size of t-shirts, probably let's say from depending on what size you want to work with. But when you're doing something with a cursive, sometimes cursive can be a little bit difficult, and sometimes it's easy depending on the number of words that you're going to work with. Now, let's say this is the actual size. Let me increase it. Let me drag it. Let's say this is the size we're working with. Now, I want to duplicate this. Remember we looked at duplicating yesterday. When I hit on my Control and D, that is duplicating. That is if I don't want to use the duplicating tools here, which is this replicating panel, which is this one. This one that almost has like how many stars here. If I click it, you will see it replicate. This is duplicating. We talked about it yesterday. So is it either I do my Control D or I come to my replicate panel. So that is that. Now, the reason why I duplicated this, I want to do this in 2 ways. One, in a smaller way, and the other one, I want to show you the difference between when it is small and when it is large enough. So now let's change the words to cursive, to any cursive. Remember, on my right side is what I use to type the words, and then on my right side, the text is to change the fonts. Now, whichever fonts we can choose can also work. Now, if you look at it, if you look at this girl, the big one, the big girl is way bigger than way longer than the mat. So what do I do? It's almost 15 by 17 inches. So I need to drag it in to reduce it. Remember, the mat is always 12. The breadth is always 12. So you shouldn't go beyond that 12, except you want to turn it to a landscape, so that now if it is more than 12, now those ones can fit on a 3x large, 4x large, and 5x large, depending on from between 3 to 5x large. 12, more than 12 can fit on that. But with 11 inches, 11 inches can fit on from X large down to a medium, size. So now let's see. Now I want to zoom close to this to show you something. Now you can see that each of the letters are joining. They joined, and they are obvious that they are joining the other letters. So this is what we're going to word here. These are the letters, these are the things we're going to word. Now, click on it. Now let's go to look for your word. Look at it here. Open the modify panel. Modify panel. Wording is always on your modify panel. But if you click on it, right click on it, let's see if we have the word there. Word is not on the, okay, word is there when you right click. So if I click on word, you will see it. Do you notice that? You notice the change? Let me undo. Now this change here, and here. I'll click on it. Before you can word, always remember to select. So instead of using my right click now, I can also use my modify, where I can see my word. If I don't use my right click, I always use this. So once I click it, it changes. That is what we want to achieve. Without this, if you don't word it, cursive will not be perfect. It will give you some challenges. So let me zoom out. Zoom out. Meanwhile, let's take this out. Now we have broken it. Now it's broken already. So it's broken. So we need to group them again. We need to group. Control G, or you go to the top where you see group selected shapes. Once I click on this, is group. Now, to me, these letters are showing, the outlines are always, that's the default. The default outlines are always red. They are always red. But sometimes, like me, I don't like using it, working on it with red. I always like changing the colors. Now, let's change the colors. Change the outline by going to your left side at the top, below your view. Below your view, where you see this rectangular red shape. Click on it. You can select any picture. Did I say picture? You can select any colors. If actually is on red. If I choose white, you are not seeing it again. Let's choose blue. You can see it now. Let's leave it that. Let's leave it like that. And now I need to fill it with a different color as well. The reason why I'm going to fill it with the different colors is this. By the time I convert to stones, since I fill the colors, I can easily pick a particular shape whenever I want to pick. But if it's not filled up with colors, you might want to pick a particular stone or a shape, you mistakenly go pick something else. So to avoid that, you need to fill up, fill it, fill the colors in. So how do I fill the colors in? Just the same way, going to the top. This is the outline, filling the outline, and then this particular one that is showing net is to fill up the stones, to fill the colors in. Now let's decide the colors we're going to use. Let's still use blue. Now, this is it. Now, take note, for a beginner like you, for beginners like you, always duplicate, make it two. Make it two for you to be easy for you. But for me, because I'm very good with it, I don't need to duplicate it. But for you, I want to break it down in a way that you will pick it up easily and be able to edit it perfectly. Now that I've made it two, I'll make one. Let's make one a black. Then this one remains the blue. Now you take this one aside. We'll come back to that. And then drag this there. Now go to your rhinestone panel. Your rhinestone panel is down this way, which is this. Your rhinestone panel is this. We looked at it yesterday, so I know you won't forget it. So click on the rhinestone panel. Remember your spacing, the default is always 0.039. Don't use that. The spacing will be too much. In a way, it will be too much that it will cause your stones not to sparkle the way it should. So always change it, delete 39 and add between 25 to 30. So let's use 25 to 5. Then hit your enter key to record it there. Now we are good with that. Now, are we using SS6? Are we using SS10 or are we using SS16? Now, you decide that that is on you. For me, this part of our country, my country here in Nigeria, we hardly get the SS6 in our country. Then from 10, 16, and 20, we see those stones available. So often I use SS10, sometimes SS16. Like I told you, if you're using SS10, don't forget SS8 can fit into SS10. SS6 can also fit into SS10, but the spacing will be too much. Okay? So it's better you use SS8 on 10 if you want to. But if you can get your SS10, no problem. So I select my SS10. Hope you didn't forget. Now this is your edges. When you want to you don't want to fill up the stones. You just want the stones just round the letters. That is where you click on this. So let me click on this. Let the words. Select this. You see it. Now take note. The stones here are not arranged. They are scattered. Silhouette will not give you an 100% conversion. They don't give you 100% conversion. You still have to break and edit. That is what Silhouette does. Okay. So now we're actually not doing the outline. We want to fill it in. Now look at the linear fill. Click on the linear fill. Now, if you look at the linear fill, it's okay, but the curves are not perfect. Curves are not perfect. So now let's try the radial fill. Now I click on the radial fill. Now the curves are perfect, but then we need to edit. Now for you to edit, At your level now, you need this one. This one we created. Make sure you drag it in to the middle, then to the underneath the stone itself. Select both together. Once you select together, make sure you centralize it. Centralize and then click out. Zoom in to enable you release the stones. To enable you release the stones. Yes. Now
Okay.
select select the stones. Once you select the stones, you release the stone. You release it. Fine. Now it's released. Now, if you look at it, the spacing here, this is the correct spacing. This is too much. These are too much, meaning you need to fill in some stones there to get the actual stones. So rhinestones, silhouettes would not give you everything complete. So that's why you need to know how to edit your work. Now let me zoom out. Where should we start from to start editing? Let's start with this. Now we need to fill this. Now, the time is running out, but don't worry, I will come back. The same link will come back after converting this video. After converting the video, I'll come back. Then we'll continue from where we stop. But then before it goes off, let's continue editing. So wherever it stops, we'll continue from there. So now we need to fill in this. Remember, I want to select multiple here. Remember, talked about selecting multiples, holding your shift key down, holding it down, then click, 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 and click. Then, because I don't want to go to my replicating panel here, the replicating panel, which is this to duplicate, I can always do my Control D. Once I do Control D, this comes out. Manually, I drag it in. I drag it in like this. Okay. Or let's undo. Let's undo. Let me undo that. Now, use the replicating to duplicate for you to understand there are different ways you can duplicate. Is either you use your Control D or you're using your duplicate panel. So click on that, then manually drag it in like that. Okay. Then zoom in. Once you zoom in, you can see what you are editing. So your shift down, because I want to select more than 1, 2, and 3. Your transformation panel, which is the most important tools for your editing, is always good for you. Now my transformation panel is on. I've opened it. What do? I need to balance this space and this space. So I go to my spacing. This is the spacing. I do my horizontal. You can see it. The space are equal. Now let's try this. The next one, shift down, select, and horizontal. Good. The space here and the space here are equal. So the same thing, select, shift down, select, and good. Now let's do this. That might go, but let's continue. Select it with your shift down and horizontal. Fine. Now we're going to take it down. Select from the bottom here, 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 and here. Then this last one. So the spacing, we're going to do vertical. Can you see it? Good. Now, at this time, we need to balance this because this spacing and this spacing are not equal again. Shift down, select, select, and align. Good. So it's equal now. Don't worry, this is touching this. Don't worry, don't be disturbed. The stones can still fall in. So this, horizontal, like that. Now, good. Then this, horizontal, the same thing. So nothing happened. So what do we do? The spacing here is much. So we'll do it in the other way. Select that, shift down, shift, select, and align. Then vertical. You're doing both. I did two things there. I did the horizontal and the vertical. Let me undo. Let me undo it. Now select it again, shift down, select, select, select. I do my vertical, and at the moment I did the vertical, it went up and it's not aligned, it's not in a straight line. Okay, so for it to come back, for it to come back in a straight line, I need to do my horizontal. Now you can see it. So I actually did horizontal and vertical. So the same thing will happen to this. Shift down, select, select, and vertical, horizontal. Do you see it? Shift down, select, select, vertical, and horizontal. Now this the same thing, select, select, vertical, and horizontal. So that's that. I think we're done. We're good with that. We're done with that. So let's go to the the next, the next one. Now let's try this. Now this is perfect. This is perfect. This is perfect. But let me zoom out. Then zoom here. Okay, this is perfect. But the spacing here and here, they are not the same. So what do we need to do? And this one is actually touching this. So manually, you have to drag it away from it. Now, once you drag it away with your shift down, select it, select this next one, select, select, and align. Align, good, like that. Now, if you notice this, these two are touching. Two stones cannot fit in here. So manually drag it out. Now you notice that the spacing here is still very much. So what do we do? Now let's add one to it. Duplicate one and add to it. Select by shifting down your key, shift key down, select, select, and then align. Okay. Now this is down and this is up. Manually, you can drag it up to maintain that. So now look at this part and this part. They are not the same spacing. So let's select backward like that. Select, select, select like that until you're satisfied. Then you align it. So that is aligned. Now, note that there should be a stone here. Don't worry about this one. This might leave there. These two might leave at the end. It might leave, but then let's still duplicate from there and add it here. Drag it there. So this here might leave. This one and this. Let me change the color so that you will know that that is is the one that I'm going to take away. I'm going to delete later. So zoom out. Zoom out. Now let's zoom here. Now these ones are not in a straight line. They are not arranged. So how do we do that? Just the same way we did the other one. We're going to do that like that. Do this like that. Select, select, and select. then align, vertical and horizontal, just like that. The same thing, align, vertical, horizontal. The same thing happens here, vertical and horizontal. The same like that, vertical and horizontal. The same, shift down and select. Don't forget your shift key. Don't forget your shift key. It's very helpful in your editing. Shift down, select, especially you want to select multiple shape. And then now how you seeing it is coming out good like that. Select, good. Now this and this, horizontal, vertical. Now we're good with that. Then zoom out, zoom out. Now these spaces, I feel we should add stones there too. Duplicate and add. Manually drag it there. You align that later. Then add. Now, let's see it. Let's still add here. Duplicate and drag it there. Now, if it is coming too tight, you don't need to add again.